So as you know, we are in the midst of a wood shortage. Wood is pretty expensive. I looked at some landscape timbers today, 6 inches by 6 inches by 8 feet. It was $135. Kind of crazy. I've got a project where I've got to wrap 2 windows inside and outside with oak. I was thinking, you know what, I've got some oak. It's a little rough around the edges. I could recondition it. It's already been sealed with 2 coats of lacquer, but it's been sitting on the floor of my garage, and my wife's been parking over the top of it for maybe a year. And this is it right here. Doesn't look too pretty, but I could salvage it. This is a $120 piece of wood. I really want to know if I can recondition. I see some areas where water has gotten through the lacquer, and that means I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding, and I'm going to have to do put some stuff on it. Can be a little bit deceiving though, because once you get a finish on here, you see there's some lacquer. You can just use anything to darken it up. I think in these grains here, this is going to show too dark, and it's going to show some staining. It's going to show like black, not a gray water stain. So I am going to treat these with a treatment, and we'll see if it does anything to this grain section down here. Oxalic acid. You can find this product in multiple places online. I don't think you can find it locally at a store. I couldn't find any. They say, I don't know who they is, but someone out there is saying that Barkeeper's Friend has this type of acid in it. I don't know what the concentration level is, and I didn't want to use it. I wanted to find the real stuff that you recommended. So let's do this. I got some water here. See what that looks like. So I'm just going to put some in here, mix it up, and we're going to test her out. Didn't know I was a chemist, did you? Today's video is sponsored by the WD-40 company. The product I'm going to show you today is their multi-use product with the Easy Reach flexible straw. I'm going to show you how that works. You can bend it and it stay in any shape. Get into tight areas. Lubricate your tractor door hinge. Oh, got one up here too. Or you got to do some work on your hitch. It's all stiff. Got to get up in there. See how easy that opens now? What do you think of my new hat and t-shirt? If you're like me, you've been wondering where to get gear with the WD-40 Shield in classic blue and yellow colors. For the first time ever, WD-40 has merchandise available to purchase. Visit the custom link in the description below the video to get your WD-40 brand gear today. Did the water stains come out? Well, you have to wait and watch, see what happens. It's crazy, it's very dramatic. Mixing. And I'm going to do it on a test piece that's got some grayed out areas, and it's got another stain on it. But you can see some of the stains on this trimmed off piece here. These are burns. It probably won't do anything to that. I'm going to do this test piece first. Got a disposable brush. So I mix it up. And it doesn't appear to be diluting. It's not diluting. We'll give it a little bit more time, see if it dilutes. So in case you're supposed to make a paste out of it, I scooped some out of the bottom, and I'm going to put the paste on this piece of test wood. All right, well, these test pieces are doing their thing. I'm going to get to work on sanding and preparing the other pieces of wood for lacquer. The worst part of working with wood is sanding, but it's a necessary process of finishing every piece of wood. So everyone is labeled, and I'll be given specific pieces of wood, a slight round over with the sander, so I got to make sure I know what I'm doing here. So first pass, First pass is just going to be on all the faces, and then I'll figure out which ones have to have a slight round over. So I got the test pieces going. It seems like it might be working. I'm just going to jump right into making some more. I drained off a little bit of the water, and I'm going to make more of a paste and put it on these two pieces and see what happens. There's a before shot again. You can see the dark colors in the grains. There we go. I think it's going to work. It may darken the wood. I don't know if any of you are familiar with water popping. A lot of times you go over oak with a wet rag to water pop it. It's one way to get the grain to stand up to sand it off before you put a finish on there. But another side effect of that is it darkens it up from its natural color. Well, let's just get it in the grains. Alright, well that's it. Do the same thing to the other one. So this was the worst spot out of them all. Kind of sweep that back. You see how dark that is? That's like black. It's not supposed to be black. There's no black in red oak. We'll see if it does it. Okay, we are in my spray area. First thing I did, as you saw out there, I blew it off with compressed air. Then I tacked it off with a tack cloth. And you have to be careful when you use these things because they can grab, especially on oak. It has a deep grain. And so I just lightly go over it. And then, in case something was left behind, I blow it off one more time. And then it's time to spray. Gonna spray first with the vinyl sanding sealer. Same stuff I put down before spraying colored lacquer. I probably should put a mask on. Okay, first coat, vinyl sanding sealer. So it's a little cool out tonight. It's probably in the high 60s in here, but it also is a little bit high humidity tonight. We're probably sitting around 40%. So this is going to take probably 25 minutes. I'll leave it before I sand it and do another coat of the sanding sealer. Here we go. So did it work? Did the oxalic, there's no C, oxalic acid. Here, I'm just going to let you read the label. I probably put this up on the screen earlier. So did it work? Did it clean this wood and make it good as new? It did not. It did not do the pieces of wood I needed to use, and it didn't work on the stains that I needed it to work on. Now, I've done several other testing with other sample pieces of wood, and I think I got some video clips of that right now. I put a lot of this up on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you should go do that. Link will be below in the description. It's at the Handyman. I'll put it on the screen here as well. This piece here that you're looking at, I had a bunch of gray dots on it. It looked exactly like typical gray water staining, and it made them disappear like magic. Here's a close-up of the piece of wood that I wanted to use. And right in here, I don't know if you're going to be able, the camera's going to pick it up or not. I'm going to try a couple different angles. It's still black in those grains there. It did not bleach out whatever is black inside those grains. I ended up cutting new pieces out of a new piece of oak. I actually drove to the next state over into a small town to find it at a reasonable price. Around here, it's up like 400%. In the next video, you get to see me assemble all these pieces of wood and install them into the massive kitchen renovation. You're going to want to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you know when that video comes out. Don't want to miss those massive kitchen renovation releases, those updates. A lot of your answers will be linked in the description below. Don't forget to go check the description. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.